Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is a very special one because it is officially the 1-year anniversary for my collab palette that I had with Odin's Eye, the Red Dragon palette. Seriously, cannot believe it's already been 1 year because I literally just remember it like yesterday, and I kind of just wanted to celebrate the 1-year mark and just say thank you to you guys. So today I'll be recreating the cover look because I realized I never recreated that. So this is the final result. That being said, if you guys are curious to see how I recreated that cover look with the palette itself, then please continue watching. Alright, so hopping into the look, I'm going to start off with my eye primer. I'll be using the Kaleidos Tone Activator Eye Primer. I just like to take a little bit on the back of my hand, use my ring finger to dab it out, and then I'll dab that on to my lids. And I really like this eye primer because it does even out my skin on my eyes, and it's just a really great base, so I really love this eye primer. I'm glad I have it back in my routine. First up in the palette, I'm going to take the shade Serene, which is the peachy orange transition shadow, and this is going to be our base. So I'm just going to work that at my outer corners into my crease using windshield wiping motions. Serene is probably one of my most used shadows in the palette. Like, it's just my perfect peachy transition shadow, and I think it suits this palette so well. I can't believe it's been a year since Red Dragon launched. I literally remember it like it was yesterday. It's so crazy. Like, I was just so anxious. Like, looking back, I had so many doubts, but I just remember on launch day I was just so anxious. I'm also going to take Serene on the Morphe A29 brush and run that on my lower lash line, mainly at the outer corner. But yeah guys, I can't believe it's been 1 year since Red Dragon and I haven't even recreated the cover look. That's so crazy. I feel like that's the first look I should have done, right? But here we are, 1 year later. I feel like 1 year later I'm still not over this palette. Like, I'm still not over that this is my face, that I picked these shades and it was on a website, people are buying it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just really hard for me to process these really big milestones because I've always dreamed of this, you know, and yeah, I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. It's like literally my baby, so I can't believe it's been 1 year, and I'm so glad that you guys are still loving it. I'm still getting tags on it. And then moving into the shade Sunrise, which is the mustard yellow, I'm taking that on a ColourPop E2, which is just a bigger blending brush. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my brush and I'm gonna use that to buff out the edges. As you saw, I don't really blow out the outer edges as much because I really wanted to blend the edges out with this mustard yellow to have that like sunrise effect, just because on the cover it looks like I do have a bit of yellow in the crease. Actually, about the cover, I did not design that at all. That was all on Odin's Eye's designing team, and when they sent me the first draft, I was already so in love. There honestly wasn't much like I wanted to fix. I think in the beginning stage, my hair was actually red, and I love that, but I don't have red hair, so I just felt like it didn't really look like me. Like, I think you guys probably seen me more in black hair than any other color, even though, like, you know, I have been blonde, I've had pink hair. I think you guys know me to have black hair, right? So although the red hair looked so cool and I think it suit Red Dragon so well, I just didn't really think it looked like me at the time, but I'll show you what it looked like so you can get an idea. But fast forward to now, I really do want to dye my hair red. I know I told you guys that I don't want to dye my hair at all. Like, I just want to have virgin black healthy hair, but I don't know, I'm just like so tempted to dye my hair red. Like, I've always wanted red hair. Like, if I was gonna dye my hair, these were the two colors I was gonna dye it, red or a dark blue. But I gave up on the dark blue because I come to realize I just don't suit blue, and it would be like a really deep navy blue, so like maybe I would suit it, I don't know, but like every time I wear blue clothing I just feel like I look so dull. It's just not my personal color, I feel. So I want red hair. I mean, I've had red hair in the past, like when I was way younger, and I just feel like if I got red hair I would really embody Red Dragon, you know? But I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Yin on the What's Up Beauty R102 brush, which is just a smaller taper blending brush. I'm not gonna pass my crease with this too much, and we're only gonna focus it at the outer corner. I noticed on the cover I do have a hint of red, like a more muted red, so this is just going over here. But yeah, back to the red here. I could just dye my hair red, and then in a few years I can go back on this health hair journey and getting all my virgin hair back, you know? So I'm like, why not do it now? So I'm really thinking, I'm like, maybe I'll wait until maybe fall time comes around, which for us fall is around, I think it's like March, April. So in a few months, honestly, like I feel like after the holidays, time just flies by so quickly. But what do you guys think? Do you guys see me in red hair? It's not gonna be like a bright red, it'll be like a very dark wine red. Then I'm gonna go into Claw, which is the dark brown on my Sigma E30, which is just a pencil brush. And I'm just gonna focus this along the lash line just to give a little bit more definition, because again, on the cover, it looks like I do have some brown at the outer corner. But as you can see from my palette, Claw is definitely the shade I've used the most, which I feel like it's just so basic, honestly, because it's like a dark brown, right? But you know, I use it for my liner, I use it for my outer corner like I'm doing now. So I just feel like it's the most universal shade, even though it's the most basic shade. But I feel like from what I can see from you guys and from what you tag me, I think the most popular shade in the palette is definitely number 1, Solar Flare. Solar Flare, which I do have in my inner corners, we're gonna play with it soon. I feel like Solar Flare took the cake. I think 2 of you guys from, you know, who has tagged me on Instagram has actually hit pan on Solar Flare. And so many of you guys tell me like, you're trying to save the palette because you don't want to use it too much because like, you know, once it's gone, it's gone. And that just makes me so happy that like, you guys love it that much, like it's precious. So like, oh, it's precious to me too. So like, knowing that you guys share that same feeling, I don't know, I just can't explain how grateful I am for that. Like, I don't want to get emotional either. I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to ruin this makeup, but like, I don't know. I just don't know how to put my feelings into words and how like, just how crazy is that, guys? Like, I know like maybe when you guys view people on YouTube, like maybe you don't feel like they're real or whatnot, but like we're real people behind here, and like this kind of stuff like it's crazy. It really is so crazy. But speaking of Solar Flare, we're gonna dip into that on my Gain Beauty E05 brush, which is just a tiny brush. This is my favorite brush for my inner corner highlight. We're gonna focus this at the inner corner because on the cover it looks like I have like a light yellowy olive gold. So I think Solar Flare would be the perfect. But another thing that I wanted to thank you guys is to anyone that left a review on my palette on the Oden's Eye website. It's like 5 stars. There's like 44 reviews, which I know it's not a lot, but like I really do appreciate you guys like taking that time to review it. Like, you know, and some of these reviews are like paragraphs. It's not just like love the palette, you know, it's like paragraphs. And you know, some of you guys even added photos. Like I read all of them, okay? Like thank you so much, seriously. It makes me so happy that you guys would like take that time to not only buy my palette, but like that extra step to review it. I love it. Thank you guys again, really. I'm also gonna take that onto my lower lash line over here just to highlight. I would love to know if you guys have the palette, of course, which shade is your favorite or which shade is your most used, because I know like generally maybe a lot of people love Solar Flare, but I would love to know what you guys think as well. I think me, I love Overheat, which we're gonna use next. But yeah, dipping into Overheat on my ColourPop E4 brush, just a flat shader brush. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and tap that onto my lid just to get those gold micro glitters to just sparkle through and really to diffuse into Solar Flare. I'm working this more as an eyeshadow topper. You could wet your brush, work it as a metallic shadow. It's perfect for that too, but I just want a little bit of sparkle on my eyes because I don't think on the cover it doesn't look like there's any shimmer on the lid, but I just feel like I gotta use Overheat. Overheat is my favorite. And the palette that you guys actually have been seeing on the screen is my go-to Red Dragon palette. I also have this one here, which I keep the cover on, but this was my first like sample that I got of Red Dragon, which was pretty much the final sample. So I was using that for a while, and then I got the final sample, and then I started using that. So this one's a little bit more clean. You know, there's not much panning to it. And then the one I'm currently using, you know, you can see more panning on claw, just more indents in this one. This one is the one I've been using a lot. And then I have one that I have not opened, which is on display. I just want one that's like brand new. You know, if I ever had kids or whatnot, I can show them like one that's sealed up. Like that one is sealed with the plastic still around it. I have not opened it at all. But anyway, I'm gonna go in with a brown eyeliner. This one is from CanMake. I've been loving it. This is their Creamy Touch Liner. I'm gonna use this to tightline my upper waterline. It's seriously so creamy and pigmented, but it does not budge. It does not budge. And then I'll just take a little bit of that eyeliner just to flick it out. And I'm gonna go back into claw just on this thin paintbrush. I'm going to extend that wing and just define it a little bit more. And then for the final touch for the eye look, I do have a little bit of a green eyeliner just here. And then on the cover, there's one above on my lid, but I decided to just skip that and just do the green liner under the wing. And for that, I will be using the Glisten Cosmetics split liner in Split Peas, and I like to mix the two together. So I'm using this brush also from Glisten Cosmetics. It's the number 6, and we're just gonna go along that wing underneath it. So I just applied mascara off camera, no lashes for this look. My style definitely has changed a lot because I feel like I used to always wear lashes, but I've been loving a no lash look. But we're gonna move on to the cheeks now. So me on the cover, I have a pretty rosy reddish blush, and we are gonna use the Red Dragon palette for that because that's another thing that I love using this palette for is blush. So I'll be using this brush here. It's the Morphe A22. I like how it's really skinny and tapered so I can really get into the specific shadow. So I'm just gonna take a little bit because these, you know, shadows are really pigmented. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Yin and Dragon and then tap that off on the back of my hand. So the blush is focused really up here, like underneath my eyes, which I feel like these days is a really popular blush placement. And then repeat on the other side. I'm gonna take a little bit on my nose because that's just what I like to do these days, is blush on my nose. And now we're gonna do these little red flares. And I don't have a red eyeliner, so I'm just actually gonna use a liquid lipstick. This one's also from Odin's. It's in the shade Red Apple. I wore this shade a lot when I was using Red Dragon. I think it's a nice shade of red. And then maybe we'll use it as our lip color so it can match. I'm gonna use the same Glisten Cosmetics number 6 brush, taking a little bit of this liquid lipstick. So it goes like this, just a little wave. Questionable, Judy, questionable. I feel like I should have did it a bit higher. Don't know how I feel about the squiggly line. Okay, I think I'm gonna retry that. It's not what I'm visioning. I think I'm gonna place it a bit higher and more on an angle. Okay, let's try that again. A little bit like... I'm gonna finesse this off camera because I need to focus, and I'll do it on the other side and we'll come back to do my lips. Okay, and we're back. I got the little flames going on. They're not really even. I don't know how I feel about them, but it's okay. It's just for the look, just for a special occasion, 1-year anniversary. But these flames actually on the cover, they were first triangles, like 3 upside down triangles. I'm not sure if that meant something in another culture, so I just wanted to be safe. Like I tried Google it didn't mean anything, but just to be safe, I thought just do some red squiggly lines that look like flames. I think that would be better and just maybe a little bit more appropriate. But yeah, it's hard to recreate. Gosh, I can't even draw a squiggly line. To share, one thing that I was really anxious about was the color of the palette. As you can see, everything is very orange, and the palette's called Red Dragon, and I just felt like it didn't look red enough. And also when you open inside, everything's like orange and pink and yellow. That color story, it wasn't red enough, and I was just so hung up about that because when they sent over the final look of it on the PDF, it looked good to me, but when I got the actual sample in real life, I don't know, it just didn't hit right to me. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm really glad it is this color story. I think if everything, like the background was more red, I think it would have clashed too much. I think I just live in such a monochromatic mind that it was really, really bothering me. But I'm glad how everything turned out in the grand scheme of things. But in that moment, I was just like, not complaining, just like venting so much. Both my friends, both their names are Joy, were just telling me like, you know, it's okay, it's okay. So I'm like, I'm really thankful for them too, because yeah, I just didn't really have anybody else to talk about it to. But anyway, let's move on to the final step, which is lips. I'm just going to use the same liquid lipstick, Red Apple. Such a good red, but on the cover it does look like I have a bit of a gloss, so I'm gonna go in with my Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly Lip Gloss in Spicy, which is my absolute favorite. I think this would just top off the look. But alright, here is the final cover look of a Red Dragon. I finally recreated the look on the actual cover. I feel like this really did take me so long, but love how the final look turned out. This is definitely a look that I would wear with Red Dragon alone, other than the like little stripes on my cheeks. But I think it's a cute touch, and it's a nice little recreation to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of Red Dragon. So I feel like I already said thank you a lot in today's video, but I'll say it once again. Thank you so much for watching today's video and just showing interest in it still, and just thank you in general for supporting the collab, supporting me. Just a very grateful moment for me, really. So truly, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys, and I'll go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye.